Mr. Chairman, here's a final question.
Sure.
From the audience. NTIA is aiming for a 100/20 megabits per second as a standard for broadband. What should the broadband benchmark be in your view?
Well, look, there's a objective answer to that question. Is it at the moment it is what the FCC says it is, which is 25.3. So
Right.
that's not meant to be flipped, but when we're going to build predictable regulatory processes on definitions, it gets very convoluted to have myriad definitions floating around the country that don't provide clarity and certainty. You know, if you have the principal regulatory agency of the country utilizing one set of benchmarks to define broadband that then doesn't constitute the number somewhere else, that's just a lot of chaotic uncertainty. You do need an authority. You do need some sort of finality in that definition. My second answer is, and we could argue about, is it 25.3 or is it something else? I don't want to get into the relative nature of speeds. But look, if your goal is to go after the neediest, which I am passionately committed that that's the goal, then you should define that goal as the people who've got the rawest deal, the people who have the least access to the infrastructure, the weakest speeds. If you start using speeds that define the broadband middle class, or start using speeds that define the broadband upper middle class, then what you're really doing is just moving away from targeting and helping the neediest and throwing into the basket of supplicants who are going to feed on this money to include a lot of people who already have satisfied that public policy objective. They have access at affordable rates. They're buying the service. Now you're straying into something that's more about regulating technical standards or pricing, and you're losing the mission of the Unserved. So I think 25.3 as a benchmark for Unserved at the moment is compelling because the FCC uses it. And secondly, because we should be trying to define the target set to the people who need it most.
Mr. Chairman, it's always a pleasure to hear your views. Thank you so much again for being with us. Let me turn the program over to Rick, our CEO.